on my head sure feels heavy, but I don't know why that's so, 'cause I never picked it up, and I am always letting go, I am always letting go. I forgot to call you back, my everlasting shame. I was focused on myself, so I rarely spoke your name. I too rarely spoke your name. Now the whole world's made of nothing, 'cause there's nothing I can say, nothing I can do, nothing I believe, nothing left for you to do. I can't ask another question about who you are and where you're from. Did you forget to mention something grand that you had done? Can't we pour another one? Oh, mother, I know you're crying. Sister's crying too. Father's holding back, 'cause that's what fathers do. Me, I'm coming soon. Mine was the last voice you heard, and I hope you understood when I said thank you. I'll miss you, but it's alright, we'll be good. I know you did all that you could. Then the whole world turned to nothing, 'cause there's nothing I could say, nothing I could do, nothing I believe, nothing left for you.
Not surprisingly, most of the early construction in Juneau took place downtown, near the mill and the mine. But as more people chose Juneau for their home and the roads expanded, construction took place further out the road. The shrine of St. Therese was constructed 23 miles out the road. While many of those early buildings in downtown Juneau were built for an earlier, more hectic and more hedonistic lifestyle, this small chapel located on the shores of Lynn Canal is better suited toward quiet contemplation and meditation. The shrine was built in the mid-1930s to honor St. Therese, the patroness of the Alaska Catholic Mission. Today it serves as an integral part of the religious history and heritage of Alaska, as well as serving as one of Juneau's quiet attractions.
St. Therese was a French woman, died at age 24 around the turn of this century, lived all of her life in a little French town in Normandy, Lisieux, was a Carmelite, which meant she was a cloistered sister for the last 10 years of her life, well, not 10 years, about 8 years of her life. She went in at age 16. But from her little convent, had such a deep spirituality and such a broad perspective of life and the mission of Christianity, the mission of the church, that her writings, within 10 years of her death, marked her as a woman of extraordinary vision and depth. And she was canonized a saint in the 1920s, became the patroness of the state of Alaska, or the then territory of Alaska, and the patroness of the Diocese of Juneau, largely through the efforts of the first bishop of Alaska, Bishop Cremont, who is buried at the shrine. He was himself from France and had a great devotion to St. Therese, and was a personal friend of some of her sisters who outlived her. And so it was his love for her, his devotion to her, and her popularity as a saint in the Catholic Church that has left its mark on the world and on our part of the world.
A simple Normandy-style chapel is the shrine Bishop Cremont had dedicated to St. Therese. It's located in the center of a small island and was constructed of stones from the nearby beach. A statue of St. Therese stands near the chapel entrance. Surrounding the shrine are the 14 stations of the cross, done in the Catholic tradition, that show Christ's journey to his death. A short causeway connects Shrine Island to the mainland, where the other buildings of the shrine facility are located. A 2-story log building dominates the others in size and was the original building constructed. It has sleeping accommodations for 20 people, a kitchen, and a large meeting room. It serves as a retreat and meeting facility.
We have weekend retreats. It's open. Other facilities, other religions use the Episcopalians have used it. The Lutherans and Methodists, other groups, religious groups have used the shrine. Some civic groups, some social assistance groups, the AA have their retreat out there also. So it provides a place here in Southeast Alaska, provides a facility for people to go and enter into themselves, enter into nature, and enter into the Creator.
Bishop Cremont was in his 70s and 80s when the shrine was being constructed. He's remembered as a quiet and gentle man, small in stature, with lots of energy. But the vision of the shrine to St. Therese was not his alone. Father Levasseur, a Jesuit priest, realized the value the shrine could have as a retreat house. Levasseur spearheaded the fundraising efforts and saw to the day-to-day details of the construction project.
It was done a lot on volunteer help. The original tract of land was gotten by Father Levasseur more like a land permit use, and the lodge was begun. And I believe in talking with people, it was a man by the name of Henry Myers who spearheaded the log construction. A lot of the logs came out of the Eagle River, Herbert Glacier areas, and the construction was started around late 1931, 32. Originally, I believe that the chapel was to be done with logs, but then, as far as I can tell, a gentleman came up, Doc Holden came up from Idaho, and he was a mason and had the skills of putting together, using the rock and the mortar, and that I think is why the chapel ended up being made of the material it was. But those two men, talents, I think, spearheaded Mr. Myers, who you know, headed the log construction, and Doc Holden, who did the mason work.
I volunteered so I could, you know, have a place to stay. At the time, we had several fellows that came through there, and I'd go up to Father Levaster's and, you know, to see if there's any work or whatever they could do, and he'd have them come out the shrine, and we stayed in what we call a master's retreat house, and it was still a part of the Depression, and so we were just glad to get something to eat and make our way and place some shelter. And some fellas, they came from all different parts of the country, and just unbelievable, just like it was meant to be. It's a real part of my life that I feel good about, you know. It was all for the betterment for anybody, the whole community, if they find that they can go out there and take a restful walk or like that, and that you feel, no matter how small a part, that you were a part of it.
The quiet solitude that those who worked on the shrine found is still one of the attractions of the shrine today. Although popular as a retreat site, the shrine is a financial burden to the Diocese of Juneau. The diocese created a committee to promote the shrine's facilities on a year-round basis and to develop ways of relieving the financial burdens while continuing the goals of the shrine's founders.
One of the things that the Shrine Committee is attempting to do is to develop sources of income for the shrine so that the shrine will become more independent, an independent entity within the diocese, much the way all of our parishes are in their basic day-to-day operation. Most of our parishes are able to get along on their own.
Regardless of what may be in the future for the Shrine of St. Therese, Bishop Cremont and Father Levasseur found a unique place for their work to continue.
The shrine is certainly a beautiful location, but where in southeast Alaska isn't there a beautiful location? The whole of the land we live in just speaks of the Creator and speaks of God's presence. So how does the shrine fit into, in a sense, a land that is sacred and close to God? And I was thinking, well, maybe it is the fact that this particular place has been purposefully set aside as a location where people can come, find solitude, find silence, find beauty, and find a time and a place for prayer. I'm sure that was in the heart and mind of Bishop Cremont and all of the other pioneers who began the shrine's development in the 1930s. And it remains our hope and our purpose today.
surfing the skies in your colorful sprawl. So rising off the meadow from the grass so tall, delicate wings bouncing off the breeze just like a cotton ball. Used to be millions of you gathered here or there, hundreds of miles across this hemisphere. Responsibility with your environment's making you disappear. Painted wings fly away. This isn't the same place it was yesterday. I can't trust what they'll do to you. Please don't stop here as you're passing through. I see him puff up their chest in the building so tall. Can't contemplate essentialness of something so small. How could the biosphere be compromised by little things that fly and crawl? So they're passing their acts, granting leniency to corporations, trashing habitat for greed or money. When will we realize we can't sustain our sphere synthetically? Painted wings fly away. This isn't the same place it was yesterday. I can't trust what they'll do to you. Please don't stop here as you're passing through. Butterfly, soar away from the perils behind you. You must fly, sometimes skipping places you've known. Sirens of the sky, go adapt beyond the dangers before you. Please realize, sometimes the safest place is alone. I hope the world will plant a whole lot of milkweed to give you all the leaf space for your eggs that you need. If we want the birds to stay and less bugs, then we need you to breed. I hope we collectively stop using those pesticides that are making all the bumblebees in your lava die. I hope this world is someday a place that help you planetary fly. Painted wings fly away. This isn't the same place it was yesterday. I can't trust what they'll do to you. Please don't stop here as you're passing through. Butterfly, soar away from the perils behind you. You must fly, sometimes skipping places you've known. Sirens of the sky, go adapt beyond the dangers before you. Please realize, sometimes the safest place is alone. Painted wings fly screens, the best screens. I'm gonna give you the best screens. I'm gonna give you the best screens, the best. I'm gonna give you the best screens, the best screens. I'm gonna give you the best screens. I'm gonna give you the best screens, the best. I'm gonna give you the best screens. You got that dark green love. You've got that summer heat. I've got the greenest thumb. I promise when you come, we gon' be planting seeds. Planting seeds, babe. I'm gonna give you the best screens, the best screens. I'm gonna give you the best screens. I'll give you the best screens, the best. I'm gonna give you the biggest screens. I'm gonna give you the best screens, the best screens. I'm gonna give you the best screens. I'm gonna give you the best screens, the best. I'm gonna give you healthy for me. I wanna keep you here for 100 years. I wanna run through trees. I want you running right in front of me. Let's go and play with dirt. Let's go and save the earth. Ooh, this love is so alive, 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 alive. Tomatoes big and full, baby. My basil grows like a weed, honey. I'm look so fine. So girl, come and watch with me. Watch with me. I'm gonna give you the best screens. I'm gonna give you in my garden. I got the biggest leaves. I'm gonna give you biggest leaves. I'm gonna give you the best screens. I'm gonna give you my garden. I need you healthy for me. Healthy for me. Looking in your eyes makes me feel alive. Because before you came, I was just a seed trying to germinate. Let's grow above the dirt. Let's grow above the hurt. Oh, this love is so alive, 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 alive. Breathe in the freshest air. Breathe it in. Bathe in the sweet sunlight. Swim in it. Ooh, honey, get you some. I promise when you come, my garden gives you life. Gives you life, babes. I'm gonna give you the best screens, the best screens. I'm gonna give you my garden. I'll pick the biggest leaves. I'm gonna give you the biggest leaves. I'm gonna give you the best screens. The best screens in my garden. I need you healthy for me. I'm gonna give you healthy for me. I'm gonna give you the best screens. I'm gonna give you the best screens. I need you healthy for me. I'm gonna give you healthy for me.
Your Highness, we need money for our war debts.
The company is a liability.
We cannot defend the colony against the British. Sell the colony.
Sell.
Dear Mr. President, the destiny of the United States, our manifest destiny, is forever to expand.
Mr. Seward, the Tsar has cabled his approval. Tomorrow, if you like, I will come to the State Department. We can enter upon the treaty.
Why wait until tomorrow, Mr. Ambassador? Let us finish the treaty tonight.
Extra! Dark D! Done in the night! Extra!
We may make a treaty with Russia, but we cannot make a treaty with the North Wind or the Snow King. To Russia, it was an encumbrance. To us, it will be an embarrassment.
Those who know about it estimate it most highly. The country is reported to abound in fish, furs, forests, and minerals.
Indeed, the nation at large will profit. For Alaska, with all its vast resources, will bring the United States closer to the wealthier markets of the Orient.
My fellow congressman, I feel if we reject this treaty, that Russia will consider it a serious offense. And Russia, may I remind you, is this country's great ally.
Folly. Stewart's icebox.
There were those who thought the purchase of Alaska was pure foolishness. But the price was indeed dog cheap, and Americans have always liked to bargain. In no time, Alaska inspired that good old enterprising Yankee spirit.
Dear Aunt Eliza, Old Glory rose today. What a proud moment. They say in a dozen years, Sitka will have 50,000 people. Imagine that. As big as San Francisco. I'm sure to make my fortune.
Dear Sis, it's all so new and strange here. Outside the army post where we're stationed, there's a little town full of Russians and Indians. The Indians are the most frightening set I ever saw. They have rings through their noses and chins. Some of them paint their faces bright yellow, some red, and some even jet black.
As far as I can see, there are three types of citizens here. The respectable class, the officers, wives, and city fathers. A less reputable second class, such as the army men, traders, and saloon keepers. And then there's the adventurers, rowdies, professional loafers, shipwrecked seamen, nary a one fit to serve in my command. Gold miners and ladies, as they say, of easy virtue.
We are growing discouraged. We have no rights to buy or sell land, to make laws or keep order. Instead, Congress sends the army to govern us. The soldiers are drunk and disorderly. People are leaving. There's not more than 500 Americans in all of Alaska. Your obedient servant, J. Kincaid.
The Russians stole this country from us. Then they sold it to the Boston men. Now the Americans are mad. They found out the Russians tricked them. They are leaving. We are glad. After many years of hard fight, we have our country back again.
Well, there was at least one shining success in those early days of Alaska. Hayward Hutchinson. He was one of the first Americans on shore in Sitka. Bought out the old Russian-American fur trading company. Called his business the Alaska Commercial Company. Congress even agreed to give him exclusive rights for hunting fur seals on the Pribilof Islands. As part of the bargain, though, the government demanded a small percentage of the profits. And profits were enormous. In 20 years, the company's owners scooped off $18 million. And they say the money that flowed into the U.S. Treasury from those 2 tiny islands in the Bering Sea nearly paid for the cost of buying the entire region of Alaska.
We were the first people to hunt whales. We kill only a few. They were our food, our life. There were many whales. And then the Boston men come.
Blows! Ocean blows! Go harder, you crimin' devils! Mr. Cash, stand up and give it to her! It's a hit!
No ship has ever ventured this far north. The crew is frightened and near mutiny. We were surrounded by ice and dense fog. Then a clear day broke. We saw around us hundreds of bowhead whales.
Whale oil lights up the world.
12 whalers crushed in the Arctic ice. 50 lives lost.
Get your paper here. Whales disappearing.
I will pray to the salmon spirit, panting as they enter the swift river. Welcome, friend. You have returned so we may not die of hunger.
It didn't take the enterprising Americans long to recognize a new source of wealth. In 20 years, the profits of the Alaska salmon packers would increase 100 times over. Before long, Alaska would produce half of the world's canned salmon. But much to the dismay of those who lived here, the money almost always went outside. It was a battle that would rage for decades.
Packers refused to hire Alaskans. Cheap labor brought in, big profits taken out.
The China boys did the foulest work. They made only a little money, which they sent to their relatives back home. All they expected out of life was hard work, and the promise that when they died, their bones would be shipped back to the old country to be buried in the graves of their ancestors.
Ain't seen a soul in more than 3 months, except a couple of Injuns. God darn it, I like this country. I don't ever want to go out. I'd just as soon die here as anywhere. I'd keep better.
I grub-staked those 2 rascals back in '80. Dick Harris and Joe Juneau. Sinful was the way they spent their days. Between hooch and women, they squandered every penny I gave them. I know there's gold up there. Chief Cowie told me. Said he'd take those 2 back and show them. God, do I dare chance it? Winter's coming. Nobody else to go. It was a fabulous strike. I broke some rock with a hammer. Juneau and myself could hardly believe our eyes. We knew it was gold, but so much.
Alaska gets civil government and money for education.
Extra! Eskimos on the brink of starvation!
Sheldon Jackson, the little missionary, rallies congressional support.
The Boston men hunt too many whales. Our people are always hungry. The preacher, Sheldon Jackson, gets money from the government, goes to Siberia, and he takes me. I'm part Russian, and I talk for him. He buys reindeer so our people can raise herds and never go hungry again. For my services as a Russian interpreter, he pays me in reindeer. Now I'm a rich lady. People call me Queen Mary.
Lieutenant Frederick Schwatka rafts down the mighty Yukon River.
Waves dashed high over the stern. The raft was working like an accordion, much to our dismay. There is no official map to describe this country. Waters swarm with life, and on shore we found rosebuds large and sweet enough to eat. With these words, I hope to dispel forever the common notion that Alaska is nothing more than an icebox.
Lieutenant Henry Allen blazes a new trail, 1,500 miles long.
We are weak from a diet of snowballs and rabbit tracks. An old Indian woman brought us a small piece of meat and a moose's nose. Towering mountains ahead. The valley is crisscrossed with a multitude of streams. To our great joy, there is fish. So many fish. Finally, we came out on the mighty Yukon. Robertson's body is covered with ugly black splotches. Scurvy. We will send him home. Fickett and I will continue north.
Expedition returns.
The military raced to map Alaska. Still, there were huge white spaces in this territory, uncharted by civilized man.
I sketched and made notes, then danced down the mountain to my camp, my mind glowing like the sun-beaten glaciers. I have been wandering through 1,000 rooms in God's crystal temple. Solomon's marble and ivory palaces were nothing like this.
Get your paper! Gold discovered in the Canadian Klondike!
Gold fever struck this depression-ridden nation. Thousands rushed north to Alaska, the quickest route to the Klondike. Men and women were frantic to get over the trail and into the Klondike before freeze-up.
We left Dyea on July 12th at noon to walk the dreaded trail of 42 miles over the Chilkoot Pass to Lake Bennett. At last, we reached the Golden Steps. In one unbroken, agonizing line, we inch our way to the summit. Some must struggle more than 30 times up these steps to carry a ton of provisions. But beyond is Canada, the Klondike, and the city of gold, Dawson.
I've stumbled upon a few rough corners of the globe during my wandering, but I think the most outrageously lawless quarter I ever struck was Skagway.
Shots are exchanged on the streets in broad daylight. At night, the shouts of murder mingle with cracked voices of singers in variety halls. Prostitutes double as pickpockets. No surprise. With nicknames like Dirty Gertie, Nellie the Pig, and the Chinless Wonder.
Soapy Smith and his gang of hoodlums rule the town.
Why, I remember one time Soapy raised $35,000 to help the new preacher to spread the word of God. He forced the townsfolk to contribute. Why, he even gave the money to the parson, then had the good man robbed of it while he slept.
But time ran out for Soapy. He robbed one poke too many. Peace at last reigned in Skagway, the beginning and the end of the Klondike Trail of Gold.
Yahoo! Gold where? Way up north. It's all over the beach at a place called Cape Knoll. Gold all over the beaches.
Some thought the Wild West had had its final fling, but the stampede was on again. As men and women struck gold, towns sprang up all over Alaska. Nome, Wiseman, Hope, Fortuna Ledge, Fairbanks, Pedro Creek.
Mr. Seward, what do you think is the most significant act of your long and successful career?
The purchase of Alaska. But it will take Congress and the American people a generation to find it out.
were days when I thought that the next minute I'd not have me in it. To think what might have been, it's hard to say, but it really had me worried. Almost had me buried beneath the ground so low. Whoa, 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 whoa. Better days are on their way. Just hold on, don't give up on your dream. Better days are on their way. Ah, ba ba da ba ba ba